So here we are. Um, we've got fuselage pretty well assembled here. The next step is to basically put the floors in here. And before I do that, like you can see, the rudder cable has to be run. I mean, technically, the rudder cable can be done after the fact because this space here and this space here stay open for access, and you sort of put, cover plates on those. But the part that you install basically goes from here back. So I'm looking at all the stuff I want to do before those pieces come in. And there's a decent amount. It's not a ton, but I'll run the static and AoA lines, right? So let's see here. The wing attaches right in here, and there's the provision for all the systems routing stuff comes out here. The intent is for everything to sort of run into this hole. Well, that's great for electronics and wires that can bend in a very small radius and go in there. I'm not going to run the static and AoA lines. I'm sorry, the Pitot and AoA lines in there. I'm going to put a hole here and put a couple of easy connects there for that. And then the static line will run, again, the Pitot and AoA line. There's these holes, the top one here. And then I'll put another hole above that, and we'll route those two lines through these two holes that are available for me because I'm putting the little wheel in the back. So if this is a tricycle gear airplane, either these two holes or the holes on the other side would be reserved for brake lines. Since I am doing brakes on since I'm doing a tail dragger, right? The brake lines go through the firewall instead, and these holes are available for other things to pass through. So we'll put the Pitot AoA through this side, we'll put the static line through that side, and bring them on up. So I thought I was gonna have to drill holes in the bulkhead here. Looks like I'm not. I'm just gonna have to drill holes in 1, 2, 3 ribs, and this sort of the side skin here in some sort of space. I have a picture of exactly where the things come out of the wing. They're somewhere, I think, right around here. So they're going to have to sort of route down and over. We'll see. I might end up going up here, make it easier, straight throughs, and then sort of route them downward once they're inside. But either way, there's some tight bends that have to happen. And it's probably still easier to do that than go all the way back here to this system's hole. Anyway, let's get to work.
I'm going to use the 90-degree angle bit there. And I put a snap bushing on it just sort of give me an idea of where the hole would locate compared to another one. Getting into some of these areas can be pretty tight, so doing exact measurement is not really necessary. Especially when it comes to, let's be real here, these are just like 3/8 inch holes that are going to contain a snap bushing. They're not critical in any sense as long as as long as you don't mess anything up. So yeah, we're going to put some snap bushings in there and route the lines. Pretty simple stuff. Until you get to the actual outside of the airplane and have to figure that out. So let's do that.
This is the fun part because you got to figure shit out. It's not just following directions, which is sometimes nice. So I've got this spare rib. That's kind of funny. I mean, spare ribs. No. That this was from the laser cut wing remediation, but this was one of the incorrect parts that they sent me. And I was just sort of lining it up because this is a root rib. So it's got these holes here where the bracket is that has the swinging army thing for for the aileron control rod, right? So I was putting it up to here thinking like, okay, so those are the holes here, and then we've got these rivets there, and there's, you know, like an inch of space in between there. Oh, that's going to be tough because the pitot line comes out right about here on my setup. So I put a hole here for the pitot and the AoA. I was like, man, that's really tight. And then I was looking down here. It's like, wait, why doesn't it line up with the rear spar? Oh, right, because the thing I said earlier, right? It doesn't say that it's like out of line. Right, it doesn't because, as I said earlier, the wing spar goes between these two. So technically, this rib sits here. And that gives me like 2 inches, 3 inches of space. Yeah, 2 inches. So like, it's technically like here. I've got a lot more space here to sort of drill the holes for those lines to go through. That makes me happy. Now it's just a matter of figuring out exactly where they need to go.
And again, it's not precise. As long as they're not intersecting anything crazy. And I wanted to make sure they didn't sort of mess with this existing sort of lightning hole on that exterior rib. So I did measure them out a little bit, sort of mark it and drill them out. Honestly, looking back at this, I'm not sure why I decided to do these bulkhead fittings here. I could have just put a snap bushing in there and put a butt connector in the wing root. I still could convert to that later on if these seem problematic or they leak or something like that. So there is that option. But for right now, these bulkhead connectors are there. That way, when it's time to install the wings, I just take the Pitot and AoA line that are coming out of the wings, plug them into the bulkhead connector on the outside of the fuselage, and bada bing, bada boom, there's my Pitot and AoA line running up to my GSU 25. That's it for today. See you later.